Hey everybody, if you're watching this part, then more than likely you're watching the replay, so be sure and hashtag replay for me. Otherwise, as soon as a few more people get here, we will get started. I see that there are a few people coming in. My computer decided to do a restart, so I can't see any comments yet on my computer. It started doing this update about 30 minutes ago. Yeah. I knew I should have turned it on earlier today. Hey friend, Teresa. I should have put on my glasses. Maybe I could actually see the comments on my phone. Hey Christy. Just giving it a few minutes to let some people get in, and then we'll get started on making something. Hey Jen. Hope you're having fun at your little work trip. Watch me from a hotel room all by yourself. If y'all see me, keep looking this way. I have my window open because it's looks like it's gonna get pretty stormy outside. So I just have it open so I can see in case I need to see that it's storming for whatever reason. Purple Dreamer Creations. What's your name? Because I can't remember, I'm sorry. Thanks, Jen. So did everybody have a good day today? It's Thursday, which is my Friday, so pretty excited about that. Hey Sandy. We're gonna get started in a minute for y'all, I promise. Rebecca, okay. I can remember that. My work wife's name is Rebecca. It looks like my laptop is stuck on 20% on this update. So I'm going to try to see if I can pull y'all in a little bit closer, because I want y'all to be able to see right here pretty good tonight. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, cool. Yeah, for tonight we had to bring it in close because there's going to be a lot of explaining, and some of y'all know I've already stated that I might pull a Sue tonight, and we may go longer because this is a pretty involved piece. Hey Jones. Hey Jessica. I was just telling them that my laptop decided to start an update 30 minutes ago, and it's went through one cycle and now it's stuck at 21%. Hey Tisha. Oh, you have to go to a work dinner? Ugh. If it's good food, then it's great. Thank you for the sprinkle. Hey Kimmy. So, I guess we can go ahead and talk about what we're doing. I posted a video Hey, Julie. Hey, Renee. And some of y'all made guesses. And until today, everybody was wrong that made a guess. I might have been a little misleading. So, this is not an alien as much as it looks like an alien. This is not an alien. This is, once we attach our half circles to it and we cover it, it's a frog's head. Yeah, everybody thought it was going to be an alien, but it's actually going to be a frog's head. And it's going to be part of a topiary plant. And before we do this part, I just want to run down real quick what we did to make our base, okay? So for the base, I have an urn that I already had at home. This is the urn. It's a heavier one. And what I did is I filled it with styrofoam, put my dowel rod in. I used roughly 8 to 10 inches of dowel rod in here. Oh, you're fine. We're actually just now talking about what we're doing. Hey, Brandy. See? I gave some hints. So we inserted our dowel rod. Dowel rod comes to here. And then this part, remember I said you need a piece of wire that you can shape and that will hold its shape. You can find these in the signage section at Lowe's, Home Depot. All it is they're made to slide thin plastic signs into for like yard sales and things. But this wire works perfect to build like an armature situation, like we did here. So I unwound the circles to bend it to the shape I needed. Once I did that, I hot glued it all into the foam. And I wrapped the entire thing with just some masking tape. You want to give it the masking tape because it's going to thicken it up a little bit and make it easier for your clay to attach to it when we cover it. The way I do my clay for armatures is super easy to do. Like literally it's just squeezing. So I'll show y'all that here in a few minutes. But for now, let's go back to our frog head. Hey, V. So let's go back to our frog head, not alien head. Okay? You'll notice in the back, well, you can't notice it. Well, there you go. There's 2 holes. One hole is my wrong hole, one hole is my right hole. So what I want to do, just so I make sure I get it right, is take my pen, just so I can mark it so I know which hole I'm using. So once this is covered and attached, I'll give you an idea of what it's going to look like. So this is going to be the finished shape. Okay? Like I said, this one is going to take a little bit longer. But we got this. It's all up here. We're going to make it go to here. Alright? So let's pick some green clay. I have TCT's Crafts. This one's just called green. I have Annie's Treasures neon green. And my vine work and things are going to be done in more closer to the darker greens. So what I'm going to do is use the TCT Crafts. To me, this is a great clay for covering items because it's a little wetter of a clay. So just gets you out quite a bit. Awesome, Brandy. So you'll go on and then I'll go on after you. That's cool. Can't wait. Hey, Becca. Other Becca that's here, that Rebecca that just came in, is my work wife. I was telling you that way I wouldn't forget your name now. So I'm just working the clay. Did I see Marie coming? I think I saw Marie come in. Hey, Marie. Brandy's going to go live on Thursdays before I do. Hey, Joy. So that's a pretty big head that we're going to use. So I'm going to get a little bit more of the green, and then I think I want to darken it up just a little bit. I thought I saw you come in. Let's see. I don't want it a whole lot darker, so I'm just going to add a little bit of black into it to darken it up a little bit. Sorry, something just fell over there. Alright. Yeah, let me get a little black. The black I have is from Annie's. Like I said, Annie's, like I told y'all last week, Annie's clay is a little bit firmer than what I would typically use for this. That's why I went ahead and went with this green instead of her green. That may not make huge difference, the color changing, but we'll see. And I've learned just by playing around, because I have another piece that I've done similar to this the other day, that mixing the two different textures of clay doesn't really hurt. So I didn't really decide to do this project until Monday. Otherwise I probably would have just ordered a darker green. But I was scared if I ordered one it wouldn't come in time. Yeah, that's going to be the right color. I wanted more of a hunter green. And then we may mix some light into it once we get it on there. Yeah, see, I took that bright green, added just a little bit of black. You saw I didn't add much. And now we have more of like a, I'd say it's close to an army green. Hey, Lulu. I don't know why I said your name so fast. My computer is still only at 27% on its update, so. Alright. If you do not have a large roller, you can of course use your small roller. But if you're near a Walmart and you don't, Rebecca, it really is. When you come play, I'll let you play with it. But yeah, if you're close to a Walmart and you don't have a large roller right now, these are normally $24 at Walmart, and they're on sale on clearance right now for $10. They're redoing, from my understanding, most of the stores are redoing their craft, baking, party section, that whole area. So you'll be able to get one of these at a really good price, as well as those awesome cookie cutters that the ABC 123 cookie cutters that Erica posted from Berry Sweet posted. Those were like $2 at my store. Alright. It started over again. But it like started over and just went to 30%. Alright, so when I roll out my clay, I know a lot of people just put it down and they roll. That doesn't work for me. I start off with the log. Then I press my log down. And then I roll. And again, I have not went and got my piece of stuff yet, so I'm still rolling on glass that slides. Because I didn't listen to Sam, nor did I listen to Teresa about going to get rug gripper. I got a little stuff in mind. I'm not going to worry about it. And I think I've told y'all before, I tend to leave my clay a little thicker than it needs to be, just because I like to have more to push around and sculpt with. Because like y'all know, I like to do my sculpting stuff, so. And don't put your bracelet in it if you have on a bracelet. And again, because we are making the animal, bubbles, imperfections, none of that matters. Like, I'm not even rolling the clay big enough to cover it because I want the imperfections, because it is a frog. Frogs are warty. Frogs have texture. So I will be pushing and pulling and everything on this to make it look how I want it. If you're more perfectionist, I understand completely. Just trying to decide which side I want to use. I'm going to use this side, even though it has a few little bubbled areas, that, not bubbled, but dented areas. And I'm going to go from the top to the back, or from its nose to its back. And you'll notice I did not put glue. I'm covering the whole thing. I'm not worried about that. If I was not covering the whole thing, I would. Where we made the little indentions for its eyes, or I told y'all that I made the little indentions for its eyes, I'm actually going to go in and cut that out. You'll see why in a minute. I don't mind if it gets a little smushy. Because again, it's a frog. One thing I will say that you need to make sure you do is that you mix enough clay if you're having to mix colors. I'm using my X-Acto knife. I'm just going to cut and leave just enough to fold under, because we all know that clay shrinks. And again, I'm sorry that I'm not reading your comments right now, but my computer is still doing its thing, although it does finally say it's at 91%. Well, hopefully it gets there. Yeah, frog may be the word tonight. And around his eyes doesn't have to be completely perfect because we're covering the eyes. So you just want it good enough that when you put the eyes on, you can see them, you know. I'm trying to leave the area that I told y'all I marked to be the right hole. I'm leaving that hole open where I can still know where it's at, because we're actually going to put something back there once we get it all attached. All right, you can see right there's one of the eyes, there's the other one. It's a little bumpy. Like I said, it's a frog. That's completely fine. I prefer it to have some texture and things to it. All right. Now we're going to set that to the side and let it just dry just a little bit. But because I don't want to mess up the shape much anyways, I am going to go ahead and just kind of stick it on the urn, just so it can, hold on, I think I have a, yeah, I got it. That way it can kind of start to set up a shape. Okay. Let it kind of start to set a little bit. All right, now his eyes. We have our 3-inch white styrofoam ball that we just cut in half. Magic of the internet and kapow. And I dropped the styrofoam. You take your styrofoam and rub them together over the trash can. It helps knock off any of the little pieces that are just hanging around. All right, 2 halves. Computer is done. Let me pull that up real quick. All right. So we have options for the eyes. We can either give it amphibian eyes like a frog would have, or just for the fun of it, because you know how this goes. Oh yeah, the plants in my home are. Hey, Anise. I'm having trouble with my computer right now, so I'm only being able to read the comments up there. So we have two options for the eyes. We can either give him the amphibian type eyes, you know, or we can take and give him more human-like eyes. I have these that I found at a party store. So I have these I found at a party store. They've got more of the human pupil to them. They're in the dark blue and in the turquoisey color. What I was kind of thinking is we could cover these like we're going to give him the normal eyes, but I could cut this and put the human type eyes instead of the amphibian eyes. What do y'all think? Because I think it can be kind of cool with the human eyes, but it is a frog. And frogs do not have these type of eyes. But I'm also not getting close enough to a tree frog to see, and I'm pretty sure that from what I've seen, regular frogs do not. So, human pupils or amphibian? So just tell me human or amphibian. I see an amphibian, I see amphibian, I see a human, I saw another frog eyes, I saw human eyes, human eyes. Hey Pam Harshman. Be sure you got that drink. Let me see how hard this is to pop out, just to see. Because that can make a difference too. Oh, they popped out really easy. I see a lot of humans. I can't believe how easy these came out. So let me also tell y'all, if you really like these, because I think they're great and they would look really good in some projects. I mean, they look really good. They're available at Michael's. Don't buy them at Michael's. Go to your local hometown party stores and look in their Halloween section, because at Michael's I think these were 10 or 12. I got them for $3 at our hometown store. Okay, so yeah, check your hometown stores if you want to buy these instead of, because otherwise you can get them at Michael's. Just make sure you have the coupon. Alright, so let me see here. Got a little white left here. I mean, like a little tiny bit. I have a whole another 2 bags, but what I'm going to do is cover half of the ball in the white and the other half in the green. Possibly. Hey, Shar. I think my computer's finally ready to turn back on. Alright, I'm going to use my small roller. I might have to get some more white. This may not be enough. Oh, this is fine. Yeah. Use a little tacky glue. If you were here last week, I told you I like to use Q-tips just because I can throw them straight in the garbage. And this is just Aleene's clear gel tacky glue. I have the white. You can use the white, but I just happen to like the way that this one dries better. I feel like it dries faster. Remember, try not to get glue on your hand, because we all know what happens when you do that. It's majorly thundering, if that's even a word. And this also does not have to be perfect, because like I said, we are doing something else on the eyes even with doing this. So I just covered half of it with the white. The good thing about this is, even if we get this done and I just don't like the human eyes, I can just pop them off and do the other kind. Because I had to patch it right there, I'm just going to take in some water and blend it together. Okay. It's not going to be perfect because of what we're doing. Get this glue off my hands. I had no clue how big the delay is till just now, y'all. Like, that's crazy. Alright. I'm going to take the green. My comments are up. Okay, you're talking about this piece back here, right? I'll show y'all in just a little while. This piece is actually going to be the sister piece for that one. I'm pretty proud of the way this one behind me turned out. You notice I don't have where you can see the whole thing yet. That was actually going to be my live last week until I realized how much the main part of it, how much time it was going to take. Reason I didn't do it last week. Alright. I'm going to try to make this be enough for 2. And it may not be, so. It might work. Alright, let's add a little glue to the back. Of course, the 2 clays themselves would stick to each other because they are both wet, where this is just styrofoam, so that's the reason I'm adding the glue, because I'm not completely covering it. And I don't want it to fall off. And this does not have to be perfect, because we're going to go back in and trim out the top of the eye. Like where the white and the green meet, we're actually going to go in and put a piece there, like the top of an eyelid, kind of. Thank you, Tatia. I did say it, didn't I? Those of you who are watching for the first time tonight, thank y'all for joining me. I am Raymond with the Evercrafter. I'm based out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm not brand new to the fake bake world, but I'm not as good as some of the other ladies in here. Some of these women in here have been doing it long enough that it just comes to them in their sleep. I have ideas come to me in my sleep, and I have ideas come to me in the middle of a store, and I'm like, I want that, I can't afford it, let me go home and try to make my own version. That's what most of my stuff is. When I want to make something, I want something, I know good and well I can't afford that something, so I just make it, or make something similar to it. When I get this on here, I'll show you what I mean by the line doesn't have to be perfect. When working with clay, always remember your clay will shrink. So you need to keep that in mind when you are covering things. Always make sure you have enough to cover and go over the edges. See, definitely not a straight line. It doesn't matter. All right. Hey, Angela, you're fine. There is a little bit of red left around the edge of these eyes, but I think we're going to leave it. I'm going to add a little glue. Actually, I'm not going to add glue. I just gave him a little weird eye, and I think it's going to work. They don't have to be perfectly the same, but try to get them close. You don't want them to look, you know, too weird. But it's a frog. Frogs are weird anyways. So there's our little eyes. All right. For now, I'm going to put my green in here so it doesn't dry out. All right. It's starting to dry a little bit, the head is. So I'm going to bring it over here. I'm going to see about placement. Yes. Okay. And because it's still a little bit wet, I'm pretty sure that it just stuck. It started to. I can fix that. Because there's styrofoam involved, I am going to add some of this. I'll sit back down in just a second, y'all. All right, sorry about that. Hey, Tamia. Hey, Mama Tamia. Tamia Mama. Give me just 1 second. Hey, Corey. Yeah. Can you bring me the shish kebab sticks out of my craft bag? Please? Look in my red craft bag on the bench and bring me that bag of shish kebab sticks. The little skewers. Tamia, did Corey tell you that I want to come over pretty soon? And go to At Home. And have dinner. Yes, thank you, and please. Yes. I'm talking to Tamia. Tamia's on.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you are.
I'm not.
Oh, husband's not on today, y'all. Sorry. I don't know who he thinks he is not being on tonight. I just wanted to add some of these to be extra safe. That it stays. So I'm just going to cut them a little bit shorter. Right? I don't know why he acting so weird. What? Probably because he in there with the dogs that don't like thunder and it's thundering. So that's probably what his excuse is. Alright. Like I said, it's just as a little bit of extra support so they stay in there right. And I promise, like right now it's turning, it won't when we get done. See? Just make sure you got them turned the right direction so that they don't look like they're, you know, not in the same direction. Okay. Turn you so you can see his eyes. He's giving me Kermit vibes, y'all. And that's not what we were going for at all. But that's what he's giving me. I think once we get done, it won't, though. Thanks, Tracy. Oh, he ain't gonna come on and say hello. But he has he's part of a podcast that reviews different TV shows and things, and he has no problem doing that. But every once in a while, I can get him to pop on and say hello or something, but not very often. I think in like 6 years or 4 years, however long I've been on TikTok, he's only done like 2 TikTok videos with me. Yeah. Cheryl, he does really look like Kermit. We're gonna have to fix that. Alright. So, I think I would like to make him go ahead and stay in place, because it'd just be easier to work on him when he's here. So, I'm going to back him off and not throw him at myself nor at you. I do have my hot glue gun plugged up for this purpose. And what I'm going to do is I would typically put it here, but I need a new desk. I mean, a new chair for it here too, because this one makes a lot of noise. I think I'm going to put the glue in here. Yes, I know I'm always burning my hands, but I'd just like it to be known that I did not just stick my hand in the glue that time. A dapatil? No. What's that? Let me write that down. Is that... My boy dog could care less, but my girl dog is terrified of life in general. But storms really get her going. I should probably write that with a black marker on something that's not black. Hey, Janine. A-D-A. I will look into that. We give her the chews, the calming chews, and Benadryl. And it worked for a while, but now she still freaks out, so. Alright, so we're about, if you want an actual work time so far, we're probably, or we're roughly, should I say, 35, 40 minutes in. So I told y'all we would probably run long tonight, and it looks like we are. Alright, I had a little bit of my green left that I used. So what I want to do with this green is I want to take a little bit of it, like a little bit, maybe nickel size. I'm going to roll it into a little peel. About 2 inches long. I'm going to cut it in half where I have 2 of them. Then we'll take that and make it even smaller. We want to take this. You can stretch it out skinnier. You want it to cover this back seam right here. You're going to smooth it in, so you're just making a little worm to go around, okay? It's going to look like a little worm, but what are we going to do? We're going to take our water and we're going to blend it in. A little water on your fingertip. And I'll probably go back after the live also and touch this up a little bit more. So I want to make it, try to blend as good as I can. Okay. Do the same thing on the other side. I will, Lauren. Once I put my little worm on there, I do kind of smush it into the piece. Kind of like we did last week with the candles. So I know a few of y'all actually tried to do the, or didn't try, you did. You did the candles from last week. I've seen a few. I think that's awesome that y'all are doing that. And keep tagging me in all the stuff that we do together that y'all then go and try on your own, because I love to see what I've inspired you to make, you know, even if it's not like mine. The macaroons from the first week, someone actually did a snowman one, and I'm super impressed with it. I want to make it now for myself. Alright, so hey Sue. Keep in mind that a frog is warty. So if you have little pieces, like I have this little round piece here, I'm just gonna throw it on there. You ain't even gotta like blend. Just make it a little wart. Run a little water over it. We're good. You won't be able to see it right now, but it's right there. Yes, it was Morticia. Morticia Williams. She's the one who made the snowman macaroon. It's super cute. Teresa from Flowertown Crafts told me to drink. I must have said the T word. Sue, I guess I just did a minute ago. I know I said it earlier, but I guess I said it again. Yeah, like the monsters, but she done it as a macaroon face. I mean, a snowman face. Awesome. Okay, Morticia, I sure will. V, we're making a frog head topiary. It's a little strange, but I promise it's going to look cool when we get done. Well, Sue, I have not seen your zombie macaroon. Or did I and I don't remember? I'm pretty sure I would remember that. I need to see it. Lauren, I'll check, I'm going out that way tomorrow. I'll check and see if we've got any out there. Okay, Tina. I saw that. Frog is the word of the day. Every time I say frog, you have to drink. If I say trim, you have to take a double shot. Alright. So, I need to know where his mouth is going to be. I'm going to find my spot in the front where I want it. And I'm going to take the skewer, push it in so it kind of makes a line. And then roll it. And then do the same thing on the other side. So it gave me a little bit of an imprint. I went back to about the same spot we put right here. So now I have a little bit of a line so I can see where I want that mouth line to be. Remember, we blended the back of the eyes. We're also going to do something on the front of the eyes, but we're going to use a different color. So, for the other piece that's back here that y'all were asking about earlier, I made several different greens by combining different colors together. And I made some browns. We don't need the browns just yet. And I brought yellow just in case we need it. So, I have a bright green that's just a little bit darker than the TCI Crafts. I have this one that's pretty close to that one that we made tonight. Let me double check that. See how off it is. Okay, this is a brighter army green and this is more of a gray army green, if that makes any sense to you. So I think we're going to use this one. We're again just going to make a little ball. We're going to need a little bit more than we did last time. So we've marked our mouth, and now we're going to do the front of the eyes. So make you two balls that are the same size. Close enough. Turn them into long peels. Worm. So see how this is pointed and thicker in the middle? That's for the front part of the eyes. That's what you're going to want. You're going to want them a little bit more pointier on the ends. Okay? Take it and go from the line here right along the eye around to the other side. So what you're doing, it's going to look like that. Okay? Once you get that on there, you don't need water on your finger yet. Push it in so it doesn't come off right there. Push it back against the back of the eye. Take your finger and just kind of pull it down. Not a whole lot. Same way that we attached our wax droppings on our candles last week, except we're not using the tool. Okay? Take your water on your finger now. And just start rubbing it in. You are going to have some discoloration on your clay from the water. You'll notice as you're shaping it and smearing your seams in, you're also kind of pushing the worm area closer to the eye. And these are not going to blend perfectly. Just keep that in mind, okay? Because they are two different colors. Like, I still didn't get it close enough to the eye all the way around, so I'm just going to go in with my finger and push it in. Okay? No, it's not really creepy, Tracy. It's just different. This is the only way I can think to describe it. Sorry, I'm being quiet. Yeah, we're going to do a smaller one at the top. But that one is going to be more just round, opposed to blended in. It's going to be kind of just a snake separating the two. All right. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Teresa. All right. I'm going to try and let him look at y'all for a few minutes. Let's go ahead and cover the line there. Hold on, I saw a spot that needed to be fixed. Where I didn't blend at all right there. Keep in mind, your clay is still wet. So, as you're pushing in, you're going to make indents more than likely around the areas that you're blending. So if you don't want that, be very careful while blending. Or completely let the first part dry before you move on to putting the eyes on. Okay? That looks better. That would have bothered me. Alright, so it's 8 o'clock. I know we've been here roughly an hour, not designing the full time, but if you can't stay, I understand. If you need to sleep, I understand. But if you want to hang out, we're going to stay around and play for some more. Next step after we finish the eyes, the mouth is going to be last. I'm going to show you the way to do the vinage and things like that next. All right, Cheryl, thank you for coming. We're going to use a brighter green for the top of the eye. About an inch or so ball. We're going to cut it in half. Thank you, Brandy. Thank you, Rebecca. And Lauren. Oh, I understand, Tina. Is school going good? I'm assuming I haven't heard you say otherwise. So school's going good this week? We're going to roll half of that ball out into a worm. You don't need it to be a very thick worm. My hubs likes anime too. I'm not a huge fan of it. Alright, cut that in half, roughly. That should do it. Make sure your ends are matching. Oh, I'm sorry. That's going to be the line. Though it's round now, we may actually smush it out some. I made them a little bit too long. See? Now that seam is covered. I'm really happy with the eyes. All right. His eyes are trimmed out. Are we seeing more frog now, Tina, instead of what you said earlier? You're fine, Teresa. Look, I promise y'all, this is going to be so cute when it gets done. Okay? So I got out a lot more green than I needed, so I'm going to put this green back up. Somewhere. In there. Alright. So, first off, before everybody leaves or needs to go, I'm going to show you the sister that this goes to. You still here? Lauren? I think it was you who wanted to see it. Okay. Teresa, Flower Town Crafts. You've already seen this. I believe you have. Alright. It's not all the way done, but it's almost done. Alright, so there's the vines and the leaves. Alright, all the vinage and everything, that's all clay. The leaves are clay, all of it. Okay? So, you ready to see the top of it? I'm pretty proud of this. Alright, so the things I'm still working on is I think I'm going to give him some teeth. I haven't made up my mind for sure. And you can't really see it there, but there are a lot of facial details in there. Like he's got big, thick eyebrows area, some cheeks. And I think I'm going to go in and add some highlights, you know, into the lines of the pumpkin. Alright, so this section here is what we're about to do on the new one. Thank you, Tracy. Molding was not something I was like, I'm going to be good at that. It just kind of happened. But I've been artistic all my life, so, I mean, I guess it came natural. Thank you, Teresa. Yeah, I'm scared if I put the highlights on it, it's going to mess it up. Like, I'm just scared I'm going to mess it up if I do. That's what I was going to teach in last week's live, but you know how on this one we covered the pumpkin, the egg in one piece of clay? To get that shape, I actually did I used a pumpkin, but each section of the pumpkin, you know, where it's got the little veins and it makes the shapes, I ended up using worms, like the fat clay worms, for each section and then blending it all together. It was just easier for me, but I was like, okay, this is going super fast. And then I realized it had been an hour and 30 minutes on just covering the pumpkin, not even starting the actual project. So, thank you, Sandy. So that's it, Brandy. Exactly. So vintage is, think old paper mache stuff. That's what I base a lot of my stuff off of, is the vintage paper mache items. It's in my heart. I was born to be vintage, I guess is the only way to say it. I mean, you can't, looking around here, you think I'm from the street, and I love street art, and I love that too, but my heart is vintage. Thank you, Brandy. All right. So this technique that I've created, I guess, to cover your armatures and stuff like that, if that's even the right word, is really easy to do. And I think what I'm going to do is, on that one, I started with a very light green for the base color. And then I built upon that. So I think I should probably try to do similar to that for this. So let's go with we're actually going to take some more of the lime green. Yeah, we're going to use the lime green from Annie's. No, not that one. I'm going to go back in with the TC. I'm going to mix in some of the brown that I created. I created a darker brown and a lighter brown. We're going to mix in some of the lighter brown. I'm going to actually spray a little bit of water in here. Just a small spray bottle. And let that sit for a while, and then I'll mix it back together. It's just going to help it kind of moisten up a little bit more. I'm not going to start with a whole lot of brown. I don't want to get it too dark too quick, in case I don't like it. Hey, Daryl. Welcome in. So you know when your yard, it's about the end of the year and it's still green, but it's got a little bit of a brown tint to it. Pretty much what my yard looks like now, but only because it's so hot and it burned up. That's the green we're going for. It doesn't have to be an exact match for this one, but I want to get it kind of close. It's getting there. Well, welcome in. Oh, and let's talk about Miss Teresa for a second. So, the Fake Bake Friday group had a live sale, not last weekend, but the weekend before that. And I was going to visit my dad out of town. So I had Corey watch the live sale from the passenger seat because she had something that I was hoping was going to be in the live sale and I really wanted it. So, let me show it to you. I love it. Just needs to be a little bit lighter. Okay. So I bought this from Teresa Jones at Flowertown Crafts. I love it so much. It makes me smile every time I look at it. Isn't it great? And look. But yeah, I love it. So I bought that from her during the live sale. Alright, I think we got the right color. It could be a little bit brighter, but I'm scared that if I add anything else, it may throw the color off too much. So we're going to go with this color. First thing you want to do is take your clay. That's what it does. First, we're going to cover the ground area of it. So here. Again, it's styrofoam. So we're going to add some tacky. I'll probably always overdo it on the tacky glue, but safe than sorry. This is when I wish I had my paintbrushes, because I would actually like a bigger brush for this, but they're on the other side of the table and I don't want to get up. Next week, we will probably have a different setup in the office than we have now, so the cabinet probably won't be behind me next week. It'll be a whole different thing for y'all to look at back there. It'll still be where it's at, but the table's going to be somewhere different next week, I think. Alright. So, most of the time, you would want to take your time, measure, perfect, right? Don't have to do all that. Literally just take your clay, roll it out, and don't do like I just did and do that. But it's fine. So I did all Beetlejuice a few years ago, and it's still to this day one of my favorite things I've ever done. I'm gonna share pictures of that tomorrow, actually. All right, we got our tacky glue on there. Just take a piece of clay, lay it on there, and push it on. Okay. No rhyme, no reason. All you're doing is sticking it on there. All you want to do is make sure that you've got the edges of your styrofoam connected to where your container is. Like I said, don't worry about it being perfect, because we're going to go in and make this have texture to look like grass. That's another little trick I'm going to show you in just a second. You can overlap it, which is fine. You can push it, blend it. It's whatever you want to do is what you do. This is your frog plant. And you may never meet anyone else who says they have a frog plant, but you can say you do. I personally think we all need one. What's up, brother? Rusty is my real life brother. I love him. Rusty, tonight we're making a frog plant. Yeah, it's not real. And do we care? No. I have not seen the director's cut of Little Shop of Horrors. I did not know there was one, but now I will definitely look for it. So a few minutes ago when I said I went and visited my dad a few weeks ago, my brother who lives in Arkansas was also there, so we got to hang out and spend some time together, so that was cool. We'll make sure we'll make sure it's in her one then. Alright, so you see how we have just, all we've done is cover it with the green, right? Put that right there. Actually, I'm going to take this out and put this in there. I just chunked something, but I did not chunk it at y'all this time, so that's good. Alright, for the grass texture, get you a pair of cheap tweezers, okay? Just tweezers. Take it, pinch and pull. You do have to go kind of fast. You cannot do this once it's dry, okay? I'm only going to do this little small section for now, because I'm going to go back in a second and add another color. Actually, I don't like how that turned out at all. So I'm going to go ahead and add our second color of green onto it. Bright green. We want a little bit of our darker green. So take some of it, Smush it out. Not so much that you do that. Lay it on. Rub it in. Take your tweezers. If you do this right, I don't know why this one's not doing like the other one did, you'll actually be able to get some of both. You'll be able to get both colors to come through. I think this bottom green may actually already be drying. That's weird. Yeah, she messaged me yesterday. She said that her nurse is horrible. And you'll notice I'm covering most of the clay. You don't have to. You can leave as much of either color shown as you want to. And you can also, if you want more of the light colors to show, you can always go through and add some more back in at the end. Just do it on top and then pluck it again. All right, so there's the texture. That'd be a good idea for your gaming miniatures. All right. I about let this clay get too wet right here. I mean, too dry. Hey, Shar. Tamara, excuse me. All right. Now for covering the actual stems and things. Alright. So to do this, all you're going to do is make a worm. As long as you want it, you can do this in sections. Smash it out with your hand. Pick it up, like literally. That's all you're doing, okay? You're going to take it, stick it on there. Can y'all see what I'm doing? Let me turn it. Like I literally just laid it on there. And you're going to push it around. Okay? And then I squeeze it. He is nodding. One thing you have to be careful is when you squeeze it around and start making your texture in it, I guess, is you don't want to break it off, you know? Like you don't want to make your wire framing bust through it. But that's literally all you have to do to cover that. Just keep going until you get it all the way done. Right, he's got good music going on in his head. And you'll notice I didn't do glue here because again, your clay is covering the entire thing. Your clay is going to adhere to itself. So there's no need for you to have to glue it on. If you'd like to, you could, just for your own purposes, to make it, you know, You might be somebody that wants to glue it anyways. By squeezing on it and tugging on it and things like that, you're giving it the texture a real vine would have without having to sit there and manually detail it in. That is an 80s head bop music, isn't it? Vibe. Yeah, niece. I knew tonight would be a long live. I don't even know how long I've been on. Going on 2 hours. But after I finish up this part, I'm probably going to call it a night. And come back and finish it up and then share with y'all the rest of it. Simply because it's almost 9 o'clock. I know that Hubs is in there waiting on me to watch Big Brother. And I've not ate yet. Because I cannot eat before we go on live, because then I'm going to be nervous and feel like I have to go to the bathroom and stuff. How's your birthday been, Anise? So he doesn't have a mouth yet, but there's where we're at. There's his vine, and this is what I did for grass. It's clay that I textured using tweezers. Awesome. No, Corey did not cook Rusty. We have tuna fish. Look, Corey finally... That's the first time Corey's been on here all night, y'all. Alright. Just before we get off, just so I can show y'all, so you know what I'm talking about, and then you'll see them in the video. I'm in the finished product. I'm going to finish its mouth. I'm going to add the vine. I'm going to add some leaves. I'll probably make a video on how to do the leaves also. The vines that you see going up and down the pole. Literally all I did is I took and made really long worms, the different sizes. He has not been here the whole night, y'all. This is all I did for the vines. Literally, that's it. Attach it where you want it. See? And I just pushed it into place. That's it. So not hard at all. Right, Brandy? Sus. Rusty, he gonna cuss at you, just so you know that. But, so we'll call it there for a night. We'll call it a night. And I will finish up adding the lip details. I'll add the vines and the leaves. And I'll do a video on how to do the vines and the leaves and post that also. then I'll let y'all know. And as far as next week, I will see y'all next week on Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for for Thirsty Thursday with the Evercrafter. And it's been a blast. And I thank y'all so much for staying the full almost 2 hours. And until we see you again next week, live happily ever crafter. Y'all have a good night.